how do you make deep, channeled, powerful, potent information from the Mother of the Universe accessible on social media? This has been my challenge for quite a while now. And an idea downloaded, not just from me, but also with some collaborators, that what we needed to do for the work that I have called Yoni Speak, Channeling Ma, Yoni Ma, this work that has been coming through me for 25 years, literally coming through me. So I thought, well, let's ask Ma. Let's ask Ma what we're supposed to do with this channeled, potent content so that it could be accessible. And that's what you're about to hear. Is you're about to hear both what Ma said through me about why we're going to do this now in the form of sort of an interview show where she can answer questions of real divine feminine leaders, and what does it mean to be a divine feminine leader, which we're now kind of calling FemWisdom leader. And it doesn't have to just be about gender. It's more about the rise of the more healed feminine in the world to balance the sick side of the masculine that's come, so that we can move forward with both feminine and masculine in balance, with that divine union that creates the best stuff. So what you're about to witness is me channeling Ma about channeling Ma, and about the future of how the work is going to be presented and why, for the benefit of the FemWisdom leaders that are here to support the rebalancing of our global culture. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Channeling has often been seen as one voice, one person, one deity, one alien, one celebrity, spiritual guru coming through one person. And that is fun as a game and not a true representation of how wisdom moves. Wisdom moves in relationship, in collaboration, in connection. And so there is no one channel. There is no one speaker of the truth. There is no one translation of the truth. There is no one transmission or tradition or trajectory of truth. Truth is a spectrum that happens in relationship, that happens best in communication, collaboration, and dialogue. And so if we are here to share feminine wisdom, which we will call it FemWisdom, feminine wisdom, because it's the best term we have right now for that return to a collaborative, nurturing, fierce, connected way of living and relating. If we are to lift and transmit and share FemWisdom, it cannot be from just one voice. And even when there is one voice who is acting as the focus, it's best if it's in communication. More comes through when it's in collaboration. More comes through in dialogue. More comes through when we speak of things that are relevant now, that touch hearts now, that are shifting fears and minds now. And so we're going to play a new game, and we will call it this FemWisdom show. And we will allow this translator to translate the one truth as best she can in the form of the Ma, because the Ma represents that feminine creative force, that mother who has been shut in the closet for a few thousand years, that feminine, grounded, nurturing, and yet fierce voice of truth that is tempered by wisdom. And as that voice comes through this one, we will be in connection and in dialogue with other women who are wise leaders in this realm of the Ma, in this realm of the feminine, awakening that's happening in the grid of this place at this time. That collaboration, that easeful communication, that connected, humor-filled, story-connected communication, we think, will transmit an even greater wisdom than having one voice that people might mistake for a guru speaking. That's the old way. Or a teacher from on high. That's the old way. No, this time it's the collaboration and communication. Spirit, earth, person, sisterhood. And to allow it to be held in a container of choice with a host who is also a transmission, holding things safe, and with a technical container that is also held by a transmission that makes it safe. In these times when humanity is rebirthing itself, it needs its mother. In these times when the human constructs of hierarchies and organizations and systems is dismantling to find a new, more connective way, it needs some guidance from what it knows already, from earth and spirit, to remember, to literally remember itself in a new web of connection that will transcend the abilities of the old hierarchies. In this time when there seems to be a conflict and even a great war between the old way that has become a sick old man and the new way that is masculine and feminine dancing together until they can't even be told apart. In this transition, we need the protection, the containment, and the connective, linked, arm-to-arm sisterhood, brotherhood that is aligned towards the FemWisdom that brings the balance for this new time. That is why we are playing this new game. That is why we are creating it as such, as a conversation. We are creating it as something accessible and not so strange that it triggers those old ideas and reactions to someone who has positioned themselves as some one great truth teller. In this new connective, compassion-based grid, it is becoming impossible to fool people now, which is wonderful. At the same time, on the way there, people are fooled all the time because they are fearful and they are looking for a truth to grasp as they feel they are in a free fall from the old way into whatever is underneath. So we have the container so that those who will be scared don't have to participate. And those who are in alignment and are knowing of the things of which I'm speaking now deep in their bellies, they can feel they have a home, a club, a sisterhood, brotherhood, a place to relax, a place to remember. That is our why. That is why this next phase has now begun. FemWisdom. Those who stand now as leaders of FemWisdom, there are some commonalities. And I want to speak to those commonalities and acknowledge the gift, the devotion, the power of each one. To begin, those who are standing now as leaders of FemWisdom are survivors of the last great take-apart. I say that as if there's a way to not survive. As a soul, we always survive. As a soul, we simply pass into the next dimension at death and shift. Shapeshifters, all of us. But those who are standing now, who feel called to lead women in the rise of the feminine that's happening now, there is a commonality. They were here before at the last turning. They were here before when this game of this planet turned from the matriarchy, the feminine age, the age of the temples, the time of the web of the wombs, when it changed. It changed with violence, as it is changing now with violence, because that's how humans change. There are memories inside of all of the FemWisdom leaders, memories deep inside of that time, the time when their temples were attacked, dismantled, and dismembered, a time when their priestesses and their sisters, their children and themselves were attacked and dismembered. This memory of the great rape brings strength now, brings depth now, brings devotion now to the path. It is a memory that holds power as well as pain. And one of the great initiations of each feminine wisdom leader is to touch that wound, to honor that wound, to bring healing to that wound, and to eventually embrace that wound with the soul's laughter, with the recognition that that was an initiation into power and that it's not still happening. To allow it to stop happening by looking with the soul's view at the old time and saying, I get it, I accept it. We couldn't have the change we have now without having gone through that change then. And I am glad that I survived it, that I survive all. I am grateful to be here now, to be chosen, to stand in these times with that memory intact, to feed my fierce power and my profound compassion for the sisterhood wounds of all. If you know, you know. The second commonality of those who now stand as FemWisdom leaders, as wisdom keepers of women in the rise of this feminine, more feminine balance culture, is that every one of you FemWisdom leaders was born into this life with a little extra, with an extra ray, a ray from the light of what you would call the goddess, a prism face of her. You hold an extra energy that is more than just your soul's own energy. You have been like a cupbearer, a treasure bearer of this energy. And this extra energy of her, of Ma, of she, that you have held in your body since you took your first breath, has sometimes been a wondrous tool because it makes you more magnetic, more radiant when you are aligned. It also intimidates the old way. it can also mark you as a sort of threat to the old way, because you are. And so you have had reactions to your emanation your whole life. Sometimes that looks like an over-sexualization, far too early and far inappropriately. Sometimes it looks like a increased suppression of your voice, because your voice has power. Sometimes it's a flat out ownership attempt to enslave you in relationship, to enslave you in some other energetic way, because the greed of people wants to own what you have been holding. You are not alone with these things. The FemWisdom sisterhood, the sisterhood of FemWisdom leaders, all know this. If you know, you know. And if you know, you need to be around others who know, so that you don't feel crazy about it. There's one more thing that is the commonality of all FemWisdom leaders, and that is you came here to do a thing. You came here to carry a body of work, a way, an artistic expression, a form of transformation. You came here to birth a creation in this world, in the midst of this crazy wild time, in the middle of it. You're not supposed to wait until things get tidy. No, you're not supposed to wait. If you have always felt that you have a path, if you've been shown visions of those you are supposed to speak to, sing to, make art for, influence, there is truth in that vision. And there are challenges to bringing it through in this time. This is where it is important to have a sisterhood, a collaboration, and guides, of which I am only one. For her, Ma, she comes through every single one of us in different ways. Some are natural guides and speakers, strategists, planners. Some are natural expressive arts transmissions, POW, bringing the vision of the new time into reality. Some are weavers of people, making the connections to the right places, people, opportunities for the community. Some are the storytellers who remember people to what is true by reminding them through story. Some are ceremonialists who weave the energies of the gatherings, the rituals, and the ways to provide a new temple that is neither structured, contained, nor dogmatic, but rather a vortex within which you can rise to your next level without getting complicated by the mess outside. This is what I mean with this term, this imperfect label, FemWisdom leader. And this is who I'm here for. Because it's time.